right. Man, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Ash, bringing y'all another episode of Black Girl Interrupted podcast. Let me just first start off by saying it feels great to be back. Let me say that. Most of you know what's been going on because y'all know I am an open book. I share everything with y'all, not for clout, not to get accolades, but to empower, encourage, and uplift someone that may be going through a similar situation. Let me say, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all for standing in the gap with me. I appreciate everyone that has checked on me, everyone that has texted me, maybe sent a message, maybe commented on a post that I've made on Facebook. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for checking on me. I love y'all for not allowing me to fall and for walking with me. You know, that's what I need to tell y'all. I just had to share that with y'all and let y'all know that I'm so appreciative of you. Anyone that is new to Black Girl Interrupted podcast, every time I get ready to start a show, I always do something or share something that's encouraging, that's empowering, that's uplifting. So before we get into tonight's conversation, again, anyone that's new to the Black Girl Interrupted podcast, I always play something that's encouraging, uplifting, and empowering. Always. Because you don't know what a person is going through. And I just want to love on somebody. I just want to continue to keep pouring into somebody. And I just want to let them know that we got you. You're not alone. And baby, it's okay to not be okay. So here we go. And then we're jumping into tonight's conversation.
Life will knock you between the eyes. It will catch you on the blind side, come out of nowhere, stuff you can't anticipate. That will knock the wind out of you. You want to give up. It's going to be very challenging. Whenever you decide that you want to grow, whenever you decide that you want to go to another level, all hell will break loose.
It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass.
We all go through problems. They don't have to overwhelm you, though. Problems don't have to take you out, though. Problems don't have to make your life miserable, though. Your problem is you go back and run to your safety net. I can't do it, help. And you're going to be running to it for the rest of your life until you get to a point when you look at life and say, you will not beat me.
It's easy to complain. It's easy to point out your circumstances. It's easy to talk about what has happened to you. It's easy to talk about your situation, what you're going through. But if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. It doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there at a low level. But it calls on everything in you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself. Sometimes I have to pull myself out of bed and say, come on, Les. Things I know I should do, I don't do. Things I shouldn't do, I do. I found that the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself.
Your problem is some of you are phenomenally skilled, but it is a phenomenal will that says every time I get knocked down, I will get back up and I will succeed. I will not surrender. You have something great in you. You can do it. Where you are is temporary. You will not be there for the rest of your life. It might last for a second. It might last for a minute. It might last for an hour. It might last for a week. It might last for a day. It might last for months. But sooner or later, if you do not surrender, if you do not give up, if you do not give in, it will subside.
You've got to say yes. Yes to my dreams. Yes to me. I can make it. Yes, I can. Doesn't matter how many failures I've made. Doesn't matter how many mistakes I've endured. Doesn't matter about my defeats. Doesn't matter about what I've done. I don't care about the fact I'm in a hole now. Doesn't matter about where I am. Yes, yes. The last chapter to my life has not been written yet. If you judge me now, you'll judge me prematurely. I haven't exposed all my stuff yet. I'm still in the process of transforming my life. I'm still in the process of becoming. Yes.
You are great. You are unique. You are special. You are talented. And you deserve to have everything you want. And stop listening to the people who tell you you don't. Kill the noise. What do they know? Who are they? And when that thing tells you to quit, you look at it in his eye and say, I ain't going nowhere. I will break you before you break me. You will not defeat me. You will not destroy me. You've been through so much hell. You gonna quit now? You don't quit now. It's the 10th round. You got 2 more to go. And when you get to success, it's not about skill. When you get to a certain level of success, it's about stamina. It's about you won't break me. You can't take me. I fought too long. I fought too hard. It's too late now. You should have broke me a long time ago. I'm unbreakable now.
Man, I think I needed more of that today. I think I needed that video today because, man, it's been rough. It's been rough on your girl, but you know what? I'm not going to give up. And I meant what I said in that post, regardless of how heavy and how hard life gets for me, I won't give up this time, I promise you. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to stay the course because God has been moving for me. You understand? And I just have to share just how great things have been for me. I can honestly say I'm in the most stable state of mind that I've been in a long time. And I owe that not only to my therapist, but to God. I owe it to y'all for y'all supporting me, for y'all loving me, for y'all encouraging me, for y'all telling me to don't give up. And I'm feeling what I need to feel in the moment. You understand? So I just want to say thank y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are I'm so appreciative of y'all. Like, I don't think y'all understand how if it weren't for y'all, I don't even know where I would be. But again, I just want to just say I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. But we are definitely jumping in to tonight's conversation. What a way to come back. What a way for me to come back by discussing Sonya Massey. Let me take a deep breath because this trial weighed so heavy on my mental. You understand? A mental health call should not turn into someone ending up dead. I'm going to keep it together tonight, I promise. But again, mental health is imperative. Mental health is a conversation that I'm going to forever keep going. I'm going to always continue that conversation because mental health is real. Mental health happens not just to the rich and famous, but also to the unknown. It happens to our friends, our families, people we may know, people we work with. But we don't discuss this. We don't bring this to anybody's attention until someone famous or we see something like this on the news. But on July 26th of 2024, Sonya Massey called the police to report a prowler outside her home. At least she thought it was a prowler outside her home. Police arrived, they're looking around, they're checking to see if anything's going on. They enter the door, they're speaking to her. And in the midst of the conversation, they see a pot of boiling water on the stove. They tell her, cut it off. But Sean Grayson came in and was already heightened. He was already on 1,000. Do we know why? No. Do we care? No. Because at the end of the interaction, Sonya Massey was dead. What turned in, again, a call to report, I believe there's someone outside my home, ended with Sonya Massey deceased. I remember when that story first broke and I reported on it. And when I tell you that it bothered me because I'm a person that has dealt with or still dealing with mental health issues. I'm a person that police have been called to my home because I'm in a mental health crisis. Let's take that in for just a moment. Again, a phone call to report, hey, I think there's somebody outside my home. And Sonya Massey ends up deceased. Again, we're going to sit on that for like 5 or 10 seconds. Again, how does a call to the police department to report someone outside of Miss Massey's home ends with her deceased, shot in the head? There's my sister. Hey, sis. Good to see you, baby. It's so good to see you, sis. I hope you're having a beautiful night. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming and hanging out with your sis tonight. Like I said, it feels great to be back in my space. Again, everyone that's tuning in, y'all welcome back or welcome to Black Girl Interrupt the podcast. It's your favorite girl, Ash. And I'm coming back and I'm kicking the door in. But tonight's conversation, we're discussing the Sonya Massey murder trial verdict, the murder trial of Sean Grayson, the police officer that took the beautiful Sonya Massey away from us. Again, how did we get here? How did we get on this side of the coin? How did, again, that one phone call to say, hey, I think there's someone outside my home, I hear somebody, to a woman being unalive? So I am going to put a trigger warning up for those that are not familiar with the Sonya Massey story. Here we go. And then we're going to jump back into the conversation.
Well, now to a disturbing case out of Illinois involving a woman who called 911 for help, only to be shot and killed by a responding deputy. This morning, new body camera video shows how the ordeal unfolded, and we do want to warn you that this video is disturbing. Maggie Vespa is in Chicago with the latest.
I heard somebody outside.
Yeah, we checked your house, we checked your backyard. I walked all the way through all these backyards.
This morning, an Illinois woman's last moments seen in chilling detail on newly released body camera video. Prosecutors say on the morning of July 6th, 36-year-old Sonya Massey called 911 about a possible intruder. When two deputies arrived at her Springfield home, she at times appeared confused.
I'm trying to get help, y'all, but...
What do you need help with?
Nothing. Please God, please God.
Minutes later, Massey picks up what appears to be a pot of boiling water from her stove. The deputy on screen identified by prosecutors as Sean Grayson.
You better I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop! 19 shots fired. Shots fired! Shots fired!
The coroner confirming the mother of two was fatally shot in the head, her body blurred by police in the video.
I'm not taking hot boiling water to the face. And
Protests demanding charges against Deputy Grayson have mounted since. President Biden this week writing in a statement, Sonya's family deserves justice.
He walked around the counter to get a better shot. If you're in fear for your life, you don't walk towards the person.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump speaking alongside Massey's family, who say she'd suffered from mental health issues.
But you know what I want? I want justice for my baby.
Yeah.
Grayson was fired from his job with the sheriff's department, and a grand jury has now indicted him on 3 counts of first-degree murder. His attorney declining to comment when reached by NBC News. Now the world seeing for themselves how one woman's call for help took such a tragic turn.
what is your last name?
That was Maggie Vespa reporting. Right now, Sonya Massey's family and activists across the country are demanding justice.
Let's take that in for just a moment. I need everyone to process what we just witnessed. Seeing that video and knowing the outcome is very heartbreaking to me. Because you could look at Miss Massey and tell she was very disoriented. I know earlier that day, or I believe the day prior, she was in the hospital. And then only you could tell. I just let's process this really quickly. Hey sis, absolutely. Justice for Sonya Massey. But I'm gonna give you the update. It's a lot of people that did not follow the trial. But there was a verdict that was rendered a couple weeks ago. And we're definitely gonna get into that. But I wanna first let's process what we just saw. We saw a woman that appeared to not really, she was very disoriented. You know, when you're really not in a good state of mind and you have a person that's telling you to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, it confuses you even more. And I can only speak for me and my situation. When I had my situation back in June, I was disoriented. You know, I didn't know what to do. So here we have a woman, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a cousin, who calls for help, but ends up deceased. But I want to shift the focus to Sean Grayson, the deputy that was on the scene, the deputy that pulled the trigger. That's what I want to address. Because what I don't understand is this man has had several refractions, but was still allowed to be on the force. One of the conversations I had a couple of weeks ago when we first got the verdict was, we see this happen all the time. Police are called to a distress call, and it really wasn't a distress call because she was really calling for help because she really thought she heard somebody outside. And here she is, this woman in her home alone, calling for help. Calling for help. Officer Grayson tells her, put the pot down, put the pot down. He tells her, I'll shoot you in your fucking face. Excuse my language, but that's what he said to her. How dare you, as a police officer? You were supposed to come and protect and serve. You saw her putting the pot down. To me, it looked like she was trying to dump the water in the sink out the pot. I don't believe that she was trying to throw this pot at him. But the moment she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, all hell broke loose. Let me tell you something. Miss Massey knew a demon was in her home. She knew the devil had entered her doors. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Anyone that is spiritually inclined, that can see, you know a demon when you see one. You understand? The people that aren't spiritually inclined or in tune, you can't see what she saw. So I honestly believe when she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, she saw a demon standing in front of her. And that triggered him. That provoked the demon, and the demon reacted. Because how dare you rebuke me? You understand? I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that. Because a lot of people are afraid to say things, but I'm not. You understand? Miss Massey knew what walked into her home. She knew he was a demon. Because again, if you go back and you watch the video, I'm not going to replay it again because it's too triggering, not only for me, but for y'all. But if you go back, watch the video when she said, go back when he initially got there, how aggressive he was with her. How dare you? Then you told her, when she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, he said, I will shoot you in your fucking face. Let you know what? Let that process for just a moment. That's what he told her. I will shoot you in your fucking face, and proceeded to do just that. How dare you? Why? You are an officer. How dare you? But again, this deputy has had major infractions. He was let go from one police department for some infractions and was moved to another one to wreak havoc on another person. We see this far too often. Police officers, they will commit crimes. Police department covers them up, and to keep it from going public, they'll just move them over to another department as if nothing happened. Instead of holding him accountable for his prior infractions. This man was let go from one police department for chasing down somebody, a high-speed chase. Hello, let's wake that up. But here we have Sonya Massey, who calls for help. And unfortunately, a monster was sent to her home to take her out. As I watched the trial, hey sus, hey baby, I love you big, baby. Let me tell you, I love you big, big. I love you infinity. Absolutely. That wasn't no one but the devil. And she saw that. That's what triggered him. That's what incited the demon in him to react. When she said, oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. That provoked him. That triggered him. Because he walked around the counter and shot her 3 times. Once in the face. In the head. I'm so sorry. Let that soak for just a moment. Again, he walked around the counter. Miss Massey was crouching down. How are you in fear of your life? And then after you shot her, you failed to render aid. You understand? You failed. You told them, don't even bother calling anybody to come help her. Let me repeat that because I don't think anybody heard me in the back. You told them not to render aid. How dare you? How dare you? I want to know your thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comment. I want to know, what are your thoughts before we get a little further into the conversation and we start discussing the verdict. Drop your comments. What do you think about this? We have a young mother taken, and she called for help. She needed some assistance. She needed some help. I think somebody's outside my home. Again, I'm not going to re-show that video again because looking at it, that was the first time I had looked at it since it all happened, because that was a trigger for me. Jewel says, definitely Satan. Absolutely. She saw that. Yosha says she seen what entered her home and it wasn't spiritually inclined. Absolutely. And that's what I mean when I say, when you have a person that's in tune with their spirituality, a person that's spiritually inclined can see the demon in a person. No matter how many masks you try to put on, my love, anyone that's spiritually inclined can see through that. And Miss Massey saw through the facade. She knew, Lord, they didn't send a demon to my home. She asked God, rebuke him. Rebuke him, Jesus. She said that. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, is what Miss Massey said that day. And the moment she said it, the demon took her life. For what? She didn't pose an imminent threat. She was crouching down. But then I heard the people say, oh, well, she was trying to throw the water on. How? When she was crouching down, baby, she didn't even have the pot no more. I believe what Miss Massey was trying to do. Again, y'all go back and watch the video for yourself. I believe she was trying to pour the water out of the pot. And then boom, boom, boom. 3 shots. One striking Miss Massey in the head. Let that process for just a moment. Let that process for just a moment. Because here I am. Again, a person that has dealt with a lot of mental health issues. And then we see this happen. This is not the first time we've seen police officers unalive a person going through a mental health crisis. Because, for what? Why? Why did you come that way? Let me say this. If you don't want to be a police officer, if you do not want to really stand behind your badge to protect and serve, don't join the force. Go find you something else to do. Because now it's the intermixing of the good cops and the bad cops. It's almost like now we can't tell the difference between the two. But one thing I do want to say, I applaud Sean Grayson's partner, the officer that was with him inside the home. I want to say thank you to him. So again, y'all let me know your thoughts, because now we're about to get into the verdict. Yoshi said they were attacked. Absolutely. She said they treat animals better than humans with mental health issues. You better say that one more time. Because again, we see this. Patrick Warren Sr., mental health issues. Officer called out, he ends up deceased. But anybody could, if, like I say, go back and watch the video on your own, because I'm not going to play the video again. It's too triggering for me. But I want you to go back and watch that video. And you tell me, did Sonya Massey look like she was posing any type of imminent threat to anybody? This baby was crouched down. She was crouched down. He literally had to go around the corner and fire 3 shots, one of which hit her in the face. What do we do? Where do we go from here now? Because there's absolutely no reason Sonya Massey should not still be here with us. I'm letting this process for a moment. I'm letting it cook a little bit. I'm letting it simmer, not cook. Let me let it simmer for a moment. Because again, Sonya Massey should still be here with us. All because one monster decided he was in fear of his life. So he says. But you proceed to tell her you're going to shoot her in the fucking face. That's what you told her. That's what you said to her. And you proceeded and you did just that. You went in. To me, and this is just my own personal opinion, when I watched the video, the entire video, it's almost like he came in ready to do something. Again, this man has had previous infractions with another police agency. But all they did was they swept it under the rug and moved him on and allowed him to apply and work at a different police agency. This is what we see on a regular. We see this all the time. All the time. When does this stop? What do we have to do as a people for this to stop? Because we see it all the time. And it's heartbreaking. It's devastating. Absolutely. Yoshi says they have all the ingredients. We got to let it simmer. And he was very aggressive from the door. When I first saw the video, when this first happened, and when they finally released the body cam footage, and I watched it in its whole entirety, from the moment they arrived, when they were searching around the house, they found the car with the broken window, all the way to when the paramedics got there. How dare you, Mr. Grayson, not allow them? You told them they didn't need to render aid. Or something to that effect. You didn't allow them. You said, oh, she's already gone. This was a year ago. A year ago. So that brings us to the current. Because there was a trial. Mr. Grayson was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. 3. Let that soak for just a moment. 3 counts of first-degree murder. Excuse me. Only to be found guilty of second-degree murder. I'm going to let y'all think about what I just said. Sean Grayson was found guilty of 3 counts of second-degree murder. 3. Only 3. I'm sorry, only second-degree murder. How does that feel? That's tight. That one stings. They had enough evidence to convict him of first-degree murder. Again, I want to say thank you to his partner who testified on his behalf. Not on his behalf. The partner testified against him. And the partner said, I was more afraid of Sean Grayson than I was of Sonya Massey. Hold that real quick. Just hold that little piece real quick, what I just gave y'all. The partner. The other officer that was in the video that arrived on the scene with Deputy Sean Grayson, testified and said, I was more afraid of him than I was of her. He said, the only reason I pulled my gun is because he pulled his gun. He said Grayson came in with his hand on his gun already. Take that real quick. I'm going to leave that with y'all for just a moment. Your own partner testified and said, I was more afraid of him than I was of Sonya Massey. So that to me speaks volumes. I applaud this officer for representing exactly what that badge is supposed to represent, to protect and serve. I had to give him a round of applause on that. So here we go as the verdict came down. And then we're going to jump back into the conversation.
We have breaking news in the Sean Grayson murder trial. There is a verdict.
The former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy has been found guilty of second-degree murder. It took the jury almost 11 hours of deliberations to come to the decision in the shooting death of Sonya Massey. Our Brandon Morano is live at the courthouse in Peoria. Brandon, give us the very latest.
So, like you said, Sean Grayson has been found guilty of second-degree murder, not guilty on first-degree murder. Sentencing has been scheduled for January 29th in Sangamon County. Now, I want to tell you about Grayson's family and Massey's family entering the courtroom as before the verdict was read, rather. Grayson's family could be seen praying and almost hyperventilating in the courtroom before the verdict was read. Massey's family could be seen with tears streaming down their faces and holding hands before the verdict was read. Now, this morning, the jury finished deliberations after more than 11 hours, really. I was in the courtroom at 9 a.m. when the jurors addressed the room and explained deliberations were continuing. Ultimately, they had to decide if Grayson was justified or not in the shooting death of Massey. It happened in July of 2024 when she called for help regarding a prowler. Now, you may remember Grayson was initially charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. At the start of the trial, the judge dismissed the last two, leaving only 3 counts of first-degree murder. Then the option of second-degree murder was introduced by the defense. That's ultimately what the jury decided on. We're going to have a lot more updates and a press conference from Sonya Massey's family coming up momentarily right here in front of the courthouse. Jennifer.
Brandon, question. You talked about the emotions that you were seeing before the verdict was read. I want to start with, what were you observing when the verdict came down? What was Sean Grayson's reaction to that?
So Sean Grayson was sitting very still, very quiet on the defense table, seated next to his defense attorneys, Mark Wyckoff and Daniel Foltz. He was sitting quietly when the verdict was read, did not move, did not jump, didn't really react to it. His family, rather, after it was read, it could be heard sobbing right behind us. We were sitting right in front of them. Massey's family could be seen putting their heads in their hands and consoling each other. So that was really the emotions that we're going through. Very strong emotions on both sides, of this case. This has been a week long of trial and more than 11 hours of jury deliberation. So very emotional for everybody involved here. And before we came in, the court security officer, addressed the families, addressed the media, and said, this is going to be hard for everyone, and kind of got everyone ready before we entered that courtroom. Jennifer.
There is heavy security outside of that Peoria County Courthouse. We were seeing before there are snipers on the roofs of buildings out there, a lot of police. Protesters have been out there for days. What is the feeling that you're getting from them now that there's a verdict?
So the protesters were actually out here on the courthouse steps with a megaphone when we came out. They were saying, things like not guilty was not read, and that he has been found guilty. It is second degree, but that Grayson has been found guilty there. And right now they're back on the corner. They've been averaging about 20 to 25 a day out here, and I'd say that's probably where the numbers are right now as well. But right now we're just waiting for the Massey family and members of the defense and prosecution to come out and give statements.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. And as he said, the Massey family will be holding a news conference shortly, and we will bring you that live when that happens.
Until then, we will send you back to regular programming.
So I'm going to let y'all let that soak for just a moment. Again, he was found not guilty of first-degree murder, but they found him guilty of second-degree murder. Let that marinate a moment. Let's rub that in a little bit. Again, Sean Grayson was found guilty of second-degree murder. Not first degree, but second. Second degree. I want y'all to let that digest for a moment. I want to know, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like he should have been convicted of first degree murder? Should he have been convicted of, did they get the verdict right? What do you think? Because I can honestly tell you and easily tell you, I felt like he should have been convicted of first degree murder. Because if you go back and you look at the video again, he was the aggressor from the beginning. You arrived at that residence on 1,000. When you walked in that door, you were probably at 10,000. Because you had to be in some outrageous state of mind to tell a person you're going to shoot them in the fucking face, and then you proceed to do just that. You proceeded to do exactly what you told Miss Massey you were going to do. You told her. You told her you were going to shoot her in the face. You did. Again, when I first saw this trial, when this incident first happened, I cried. Not only for Sonya, I cried with her family. I wept with her family. I wept. Because that could have been one of our loved ones. You understand? That could have been me. That could have been you. That could have been one of your loved ones. That could have been your mother, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your niece. That could have been anyone. I wept for her family. I wept for her children. Because why? What did she do? And then it gets even nastier. Because Sean Grayson testified. Let me tell you something. He had the audacity. Follow me, everybody. Follow me. To get on the stand and testify. You got to on the stand and testify. I see there are some new viewers. Hey, hey, hey. And we're going to get back into the conversation. But hey, hey, hey. Y'all welcome. New viewers, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted. It's your girl, Ash. I am the host. I am the creator of Black Girl Interrupted podcast. Go ahead, kick your shoes off. Baby, relax. Get your water, your tea, your wine, whatever your drink of preference is. And sit back and chill with us tonight. Tonight's conversation, I'm discussing the Sonya Massey murder trial verdict. I'm so sorry. Sean Grayson murder trial. Who was convicted of, I believe, 3 counts of second-degree murder in the murder of Sonya Massey. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for coming in to show love and support. But again, Sean Grayson got on the stand and testified. I believe the prosecution asked, why didn't he use the taser? I want somebody in the comments to ask me what his response was. I just want one person in the comments, drop in the comments and ask me what his response was to not using his taser. I believe it was the prosecutor that asked that question. You should say yes, indeed. But I want someone ask me, what did he say? Sean Grayson said, I didn't use my taser because I didn't think it would penetrate due to the thickness of her clothing. I'm going to leave that with y'all for just a moment. I'm going to sit back. Give me about 30 seconds. Give me about 15 seconds. I'm going to let that marinate for y'all. So Sean Grayson says, I didn't use the taser because I didn't think it would penetrate due to the thickness of her clothing. So you figured shooting her would be better, right? You figured that was the best route. Apparently your partner didn't feel like she was posing an imminent threat because he could have pulled his taser. But you, Mr. Grayson, you wanted to be the head honcho. You wanted to be the king. You wanted to be the boss. And call the shots. Let me run that back one more time for y'all. You stated that you didn't use your taser because you didn't feel like it would penetrate due to the thickness of her clothing. Anyone that watched that video can see she had on looked like a satin nightgown with a satin robe on the top. So you mean to tell me that taser wouldn't penetrate that? I've seen some police videos. Let me go back. I've seen some police training videos where people have had on jeans and the taser prongs were easily able to penetrate through blue jeans, denim, and we know how thick denim is. Again, we know the thickness of denim. We see these police training videos. So I'm going to run y'all the clip. I believe this is of him testifying. and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue on with the conversation and get ready to round it out for the night. So here we go.
Testimony continues in the murder trial of the former Illinois deputy accused of killing Sonya Massey in her home last year. Sean Grayson took the stand in his own defense this morning, and he recalled the night of the shooting, stating he believed Massey was threatening to throw a pot of boiling water on him. So prosecutors asked Grayson about his account of the shooting, which was written several days after Massey was killed. Grayson's partner the night of the shooting already testified last week, saying he was not afraid of Massey. Instead, he was afraid of Grayson. Grayson faces a maximum of life in prison for 3 counts of first-degree murder. Anna Schechter, senior coordinating producer with CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit, joining us live now. Anna, how shocking was it that Grayson actually took the stand?
Well, I was really surprised this morning. We thought maybe he might, just to give his state of mind, but then boom, 9:05 a.m. he sat in that chair, and we were all, who have been following this case so closely, just really shocked. Wow, Sean Grayson himself is on the stand right now testifying after all of these witnesses have been explaining that Sonya Massey was actually not a threat. So this was a very big moment for those of us who have been following this case now for more than a year.
So Grayson said he used his gun rather than a taser because it would have been ineffective during the incident. So a use of force expert also testified that Grayson's decision was justified. So talk about that part of the testimony.
Sure, it's a great question because this was actually new information. We know from the reports filed right after, or in the month after this event, that he said he felt threatened by that boiling pot of water. But we never knew he was even considering or thought about potentially using a taser instead of a gun. He was asked this question on the stand today, and he said that he was worried that a taser wouldn't work because a taser has to go through clothing and actually clutch onto the skin, essentially. That's how it works. And that he says that he actually took the time to think that through and realized a taser wouldn't work and instead used a gun. So we'll see how a jury reacts to that, if they believe that. But that jumped out at me today because I've never seen any discussion of a taser being used. But yes, you're absolutely right that the defense did call a use of force expert to the stand who said that Grayson was acting in self-defense and de-escalating the situation by firing that firearm because of that pot of boiling water. That was his take, and the defense is leaning heavily into that. That is essentially their entire defense.
Anna Schechter. Anna, thank you.
Let that sit in your spirit for just a moment. Just let it sit there. Just think about that. Of course, the defense is supposed to, go hard for their client. But how dare you say he acted in self-defense? Because you could have used, if you go back and watch the video. Again, I'm not going to replay the video. Tonight was my first and last time looking at that video because, again, it's very triggering to me. But for you to say you didn't feel like it would be effective because it has to penetrate skin. So you mean to tell me, that little nightie, the little satin, gown or robe she had on wouldn't have been able to penetrate her skin? You could see her skin through the robe. You could see it was very sheer. Satin is very thin. You could poke somebody with a safety pin and it'll penetrate. You went in there with the intent to kill. I know some may say no, but if you go look at the video, Ashley, this lady was crouching down. This man had to come around. This is Sonya Massey. He had to come around. And if you saw, he came around and he shot that way. Now, I'm not no expert, okay? But you can't convince me that man was in fear of his life. And then you heard them say, the partner testified and said he was more afraid of Sean Grayson than he was of Sonya Massey. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? This man went in there with the intent. He knew what he went in there to do. Maybe upon arrival, maybe that didn't cross his mind. But maybe once he walked in that door and he saw her and he knew that this woman was very spiritually inclined and she could see through the badge and the uniform, she saw that she had encountered a demon. She saw that she had encountered Satan. She saw Satan had entered her home. She saw this. She witnessed this. You understand? She witnessed this. And she ended up dead. Your partner testified, y'all. I want y'all to remember his partner, the officer that was in the police video, the officer that was with Grayson upon arrival, all the way to the end, said, I was more afraid of him than I was of her. And you can't tell me that that does not speak volumes. You can't tell me that that doesn't bother you. Because it absolutely bothers me. Again, Sonya Massey should still be here with us. Why Sean Grayson decided to do what he did, we'll never know. We'll never know the truth because he'll continue perpetuating this lie, saying, oh, I was in fear of my life. Oh, I thought she was going to throw this boiling pot of water on me. To me, it looked like she was trying to pour the water down the drain. Look, he told her, cut the water off. You know, looked like she was trying to take the pot of water and put it in the sink. To me. But again, the moment she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, her life ended. Her life ended. I want y'all to think about that for a moment. Because again, Sonya Massey could be me, you, a cousin, a mom, a sister, an auntie, something. We all know how certain situations end. Disgraceful, disgusting, devastating. Devastating. So we got a verdict. He was found guilty of second-degree murder. One thing I could see before I get to the other part of the conversation is I commend his family. The family of Sean Grayson went to the Massey family and apologized. They walked over and they apologized. So no one wins in this situation. You have two families broken. Only difference between those two families, one can still go see their loved one. The other family has to go to the cemetery. Yeah. So chew on that for a moment. Again, two families broken. No one wins. But what separates these two families? Sonya Massey is dead. She has to go see, her family has to go visit her in the cemetery, while Mr. Grayson's family can go visit him in jail. But the disgusting part of all of this is, so Sean Grayson is scheduled to be sentenced on January 29th of 2026 and could face anywhere from 4 to 20 years in prison. 4 to 20 years for taking someone's life. Of course, they do have to take into consideration his history. But I'm praying that he gets the max possible. I pray that they do not put him in protective custody. I want him to be amongst the population. Because you took a mother away. You took a daughter away. You took a sister away. You took a cousin away. You took an auntie away. You took a friend away. You took a human being's life that posed no imminent threat to you. All because of your ego. All because of that demonic spirit that lies within your soul. That's what you did. That's what you did. But again, Grayson is scheduled to be sentenced on January 29th of 2026. And again, he's facing anywhere between 4 and 20 years. I pray that they give him the max. I pray he gets the 20 years. I pray he gets the 20 years with no parole. I pray that he has to do the full 20. I pray, because we have to include the other infractions from the other police agencies. He was doing 120 miles per hour chasing down a suspect and couldn't justify why he did it. But again, I commend the Grayson family for going. I commend y'all for going to Sonya Massey's family and apologizing. Thank you for holding your son accountable for his actions. So as we get ready to bring this to a close, I want to end with this before I tell you what's next and big for Black Girl Interrupted podcast. I want to end it with this one. Here we go.
Need serious justice, not a miscarriage of justice that happened here in Peoria.
Second-degree murder? That is not right. That is not justice for anybody's family.
An Illinois jury found Sean Grayson guilty of 1 count of second-degree murder. He's the former sheriff's deputy convicted of shooting and killing Sonya Massey while responding to her 911 call. CBS Weekend News anchor and national correspondent Jerika Duncan was in the courtroom for this trial and joins us now from Peoria, Illinois. Jerika, what happened?
Well, good morning to you, Errol. Good morning to everyone. You know, being in that courtroom after those jurors deliberated for about 12 hours, it was silent in that courtroom. The Massey family didn't have much to say, but obviously they had a lot to say once they got outside of that courthouse.
He was in 6 police departments in 3.5 years. That is shameful.
Sonya Massey's father, James Wilburn, was emotional and frustrated after Wednesday's verdict. Sean Grayson was facing 3 counts of first-degree murder, but a jury found him guilty on 1 lesser count of second-degree murder, sparing Grayson a possible life sentence.
He told my child he would shoot her in the effing face, and he did it. And all we got was a second-degree murder conviction out of this?
What do you need help with?
The former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy shot Massey down in her kitchen after she called 911 to check on a suspected prowler. Grayson testified that he viewed Massey's pot of boiling water as a threat and was trained to use force to gain compliance. The trial, which began last week, largely focused on disturbing body camera footage recorded by Grayson's partner in the early morning hours of the deadly 2024 incident. Prosecutors said Grayson failed to render medical aid to Massey right after the shooting. After the verdict, we sat down with Massey's father, cousin, and family friend.
To the Grayson family, what do you say to them?
I feel sorry for them. The mother came over and apologized, and she said, we did not raise him that way, and I'm really sorry for your family. My heart goes out to them. We lost Sonya, but they lost a son, and what he did for Sonya, he has to pay, and they realize that.
Earlier this year, the Sangamon County paid out $10 million in a wrongful death lawsuit to the family, although the family says they would give all of that money back to have Sonya with them here today. As for Grayson, he's expected to be sentenced in January and could face up to 20 years behind bars. Errol?
And Jerika, it's impossible for any of us to really know what Massey's family is going through emotionally, psychologically. What more did they tell you?
You know, I think there was a shock from that last soundbite you heard when you hear the Grayson family, who obviously doesn't want to see their son in prison, and then you hear them go over to the Massey family during this trial to say, I'm sorry, we did not raise him that way. I thought that was pretty remarkable. And then one of the family friends, the woman that you heard from in the piece, said that not only did they apologize to the family in court during this trial, but they also offered up more seats, because each family has a certain amount of seats they're allowed to have based on those who will be coming in support of Grayson or Massey. And we were told that the Grayson family said, you can have, some of our seats, because we're only going to have, 4 or 5 people here in support of Sean Grayson. So, some of the things that are happening behind the scenes that you don't always hear about, I thought that was pretty powerful for them to share that story of humanity, if you will, in the wake of this tragedy.
Underscores that everybody loses in this as well and is traumatized. Jerika Duncan, great reporting.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Again, there are no winners in this case. You have a family that lost a daughter. Children that lost a mother. And then you have a family that lost a son. Let me process this for just a moment, because again, I was watching when the verdict came down. And I can honestly tell y'all, my heart dropped. So as we bring this to a close, I'm going to go ahead and share my final thoughts. As I was saying, I was watching when the verdict came in. And I just knew they were going to find him guilty of first-degree murder. I just knew. But unfortunately, we got a second-degree conviction. 1. My heart grieves for both families. Because again, Sonya's gone. In body. Let me say that. Yeah, they won a $10 million lawsuit, but again, you heard them say, the family said, we would give all the money back to bring Sonya back to us. A lot of people, you don't understand, a human life is priceless. You can't put a price tag on a person's life. And to be slapped in the face again, where's the real justice in all of this? Because again, he was only convicted of one count of second-degree murder that ranges sentencing anywhere from 4 to 20 years. So if he's only sentenced to 4 years, he will get time served for a year. So in actuality, he may do 2.5 years, if that's the sentence that they go with. But there's no amount of time that a person serves that could bring back a person's loved one. No amount of time or money. No amount of money. No amount of money. Thank you to the Massey family for acknowledging and holding your son accountable for his actions. We appreciate that. Thank you for giving up seats to allow more members of the Massey family to be able to attend the trial. But I want to say to the Massey family, we love you. We understand. And we will continue to walk with you on your journey and your recovery of this verdict. We love you over here at Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. So in January, we will come back and revisit this once Sean Grayson is sentenced. And I want your thoughts on that. I want your thoughts on that. I got to do one episode, y'all, without crying. Thank you, Father God Jesus, because I think I mentally prepared myself for this episode. I think I got all the jitters and the bugs and crying out prior to me doing this episode. But I do want to say thank y'all for coming back with me to Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. Thank y'all again for all the love and support that y'all have shown me over the last 5 years that I've been podcasting. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are phenomenal. And baby, y'all rock. So Black Girl Interrupted is back in full swing, baby. We are back to our regularly scheduled program. So on Mondays, I will continue to do my Mental Mondays, but I will be streaming I will be on TikTok. So if you want to come over to TikTok to catch my Mental Mondays, it's greatly appreciated. It is under Black Girl Interrupted. Black Girl Interrupted. So it is under that name on TikTok. I will be going live 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be doing our Mental Mondays. I have some amazing things that I'm working on to round out the end of 2025 as we walk into 2026. I do want to... Oh, thank you, cousin. I love you too, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so much. Thank you for coming and hanging out with your girl tonight. But I do want to, again, I am doing my Mental Mondays. I am back doing that. It's imperative. I will still do my Wellness Wednesdays over here, but I will do those once a month. So I'll pick a Wednesday out of the month, maybe the middle of the month. We'll do our Wellness Wednesdays where I check in with y'all, see how y'all are doing and, just have our time over here. Y'all know how we get down. I will be streaming live on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to Facebook and YouTube like we've normally been doing with Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. So next Tuesday, I do want to discuss Marshawn Nealon. That is setting me up for our Wednesday episode which is National Men's Day, and it will be all things men, about your mental health, about your physical health, your emotional health. It will be all things men. Um, so again, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Black Girl Interrupted will be streaming 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I will be streaming live again Tuesdays and Wednesdays to Facebook as well as YouTube. On Mondays, I will be doing my Mental Mondays, but I will be on TikTok. Um, Still same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're going to round out the year strong. We're going to finish it strong. Again, I do have a couple of guests that I will be that will be on the show in December. So it's going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited. Oh, there's my sister. She just jumped in. Hey, sis. Hey, Shirley. That's my big sis, y'all. Shout out to my big sis, man. I love her so much. When I say this woman has held me down in the background, baby. She has prayed with me. She has prayed for me. She has prayed over me. She has encouraged me. She has always told me to reach for the stars. So I applaud her for just loving on me out loud and on purpose. So yes, again, I will be back. We are in full swing, y'all. We are in full swing. Black Girl Interrupted is back. I do want to let y'all know I am attending a brunch on Sunday. For y'all that don't know, I have social anxiety real bad. I don't know where it came from. I don't know, maybe COVID. I don't know. But y'all wish me luck. Um, for being able to be amongst some very pivotal people, to really go and represent my brand, to represent Black Girl Interrupted. So y'all pray for your girl. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait. I can't wait to post pictures. I can't wait to come back and let y'all know how things went. To give y'all an update, for those that don't know, my husband on September 25th was diagnosed with stage 2 prostate cancer. We did the scans. Everything is good. It is just still encapsulated in the prostate, so it has not spread to any other part of my husband's body. So praise God for that. I thank God so much for that. Thank you, cousin. She's like, yes, okay. So yes, so the cancer has not spread to any other part of his body. It is just still encapsulated in the prostate. He was given 2 options. He was given the option to either do the surgery to actually go in and remove the entire prostate or to do the radiation. He has gone with the least invasive, so he will do the radiation. So on Tuesday, he will go back in for a outpatient procedure where they will insert the radiation markers around the tumors. He has 6. There are 6 tumors in the prostate, so they will go in and put the markers around the prostate. He'll go back on the 19th for the scans just to ensure the markers are in place and where they should be. And then within 4 to 5 weeks after the scans, he will start his radiation treatments. The treatments will last, I believe they said 5 weeks. So y'all pray. Yes, sus, my husband has stage 2 prostate cancer. But we are hopeful. We are prayerful. God he works in mysterious ways. God is a healer. So I am very, 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 very optimistic on my husband's recovery. He's going to be fine. We are claiming a clean bill of health after the first of in February. Because again, he will do the radiation treatments for 5 weeks. We're looking to start those. They said anywhere 4 to 5 weeks after the scans. And again, he does the scans on the 19th. So next Tuesday, he will go in for the insertion of the radiation markers. Again, he has 6 tumors, and they will put the markers around the tumors. So that way, when he starts the radiation, it will just go strictly to where the markers are, which will target the tumors. He will again do radiation for 5 weeks. So that he should, if he starts the week of Christmas, we should be rounding out the treatments the end of January. So we're praying. Please keep those prayers coming from my mouth to God's ears. Prayer works. My cousin says we're praying. She's praying for him. Absolutely. So again, from my mouth to God's ears, we are declaring a clean bill of health. We are declaring that cancer will no longer reside in my husband's body. So I wanted to give y'all an update on that. But I also wanted to pour into y'all for just a few more moments. I love y'all. I want to say to y'all, thank you for keeping me grounded. Thank y'all for keeping me in my right state of mind. As I stated earlier, this is the most stable that I've been in a long time mentally. And I owe it not just to God, but to y'all. The prayers, the messages, the phone calls. I appreciate y'all. Y'all don't know what that means to me. That means the most to me than anything in the world, because I didn't know how much people love me. Shout out to my sisters, shout out to my brother, shout out to my cousins, shout out to my friends, shout out to everyone that has been a camaraderie for me and my husband. I appreciate y'all enveloping us with a cocoon of love, because, man, them private breakdowns are rough, because you try to stay strong for the person that's enduring, So thank y'all. I love you, love y'all. Thank y'all for coming, supporting Black Girl Interrupted. Thank y'all, most importantly, for supporting me. Thank y'all for encouraging me. Thank y'all for empowering me. Most importantly, thank y'all for lifting me and holding me close to y'all and not letting me go. Because, man, it was rough. It was rough. It was rough. It was rough. So again, on that note, Black Girl Interrupted is back. We're here. I'm stuck. My sister told me I got to stay in this. She told me, you got to stay in the fight, baby. So here I am. And I'm ready. I'm swinging. I just kicked in the door today. But again, y'all catch me on TikTok on Mondays for Mental Mondays. I want to know how you're feeling. I want to know what's going on. One of the conversations we're going to have on Monday is church and the mental health. This might get a little thick in that conversation because, baby, but here we are. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a close. I love y'all. Here's the trailer for my Mental Mondays. I love y'all. I will see y'all on Monday. I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend. I hope everyone continues to stay safe, stay warm. And just God bless y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all on Monday. Holla.